U.S. President Donald Trump discussed with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni the possibility of holding a meeting with Vladimir Putin in Rome. Sky News reports this, citing sources in the Italian government. The newspaper's interlocutors claim that on August 7th, Donald Trump discussed with Giorgia Meloni the possibility of using Rome as a platform for negotiations with Vladimir Putin. According to them, if the meeting takes place, it will be held in the Vatican. The spokesman for the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that Minister Antonio Tajani believes that regardless of the format and venue of the diplomatic dialogue between Russia and Ukraine, Italy will be ready to sincerely and constructively support this process. If Italy or the Vatican is chosen as a venue for talks between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, the issue of an international criminal court arrest warrant for Putin will arise. Italy, as a party to the Rome Statute, will be obliged to arrest Putin if he arrives in the country. The head of U.S. defense readiness is pessimistic about possible Trump-Putin talks. Gert Kaju reminded that Vladimir Putin has stated that his goals in Ukraine are unchanged. He said this on Friday, IRR reports. Gert Kaju believes that possible talks between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin should be treated with moderate pessimism, as history shows that one cannot trust the promises or statements of the Kremlin leader. Putin may be exploiting Washington's wish for diplomacy with sham talks to appease Trump's latest discontent with Russia. This means that future bilateral or trilateral talks are likely to be another Russian tactic to stall for time. Kay says Russia's war readiness is shown by increased attacks, drone use, and Khyber-1 missiles on the front line. It can be assumed that Russia's current drone campaign is aimed at overwhelming Ukraine's air defense system, reflecting a strategy of depleting Ukraine with drones. Caillou emphasized that while Ukraine has been able to resist drone attacks and use drones to undermine Russia's economy and military industry, the massive use of drones has given Russia confidence in its ability to undermine Ukraine's morale and strengthen its position in future negotiations. According to Stony Gertke, the growing role of the drone campaign in achieving strategic goals is evidenced by the steady increase in drone production in Russia. In June, Ukrainian intelligence estimated Russia could produce about 170 Geran-2 drones daily, aiming for 190 by the end of 2025. The Russians are constantly improving the drones they have in their arsenal. Stony Gertkayu cited the increase in explosives and the use of new types of Geran drones, which are equipped with a jet engine instead of a propeller. He noted that although the intensity of ground attacks has decreased compared to previous weeks, Russia continues to carry out about 150 attacks per day. The Russians have used their numerical advantage to make slow but steady progress. Vladimir Putin spoke with Chinese leader Xi Jinping ahead of a possible meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. This was reported by the South China Morning Post. According to Chinese state media, Xi Jinping had a telephone conversation with Vladimir Putin on August 8th. The Guardian reports that Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping discussed the situation in Ukraine. According to Reuters, Xi Jinping said that China will continue to facilitate peace talks and welcomed continued contacts between Russia and the United States. The previous conversation between Putin and Xi Jinping took place on June 19th. This happened after the G7 summit in Canada. Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping discussed the outcome of the G7 summit and the situation in the Middle East. Putin also held phone conversations with Xi Jinping, Lukashenko, the president of Uzbekistan, and the president of Kazakhstan, informing each of them of the results of his talks with Vitkov. Putin's activity may indicate an attempt by the Kremlin to mobilize allies and prepare for important political steps. Vladimir Putin's phone calls to the leaders of China, Belarus, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan indicate his intention to approve or obtain support for the results of the talks with Vitkov and possibly prepare for key statements or decisions. Intensive information activity may be an element of propaganda aimed at demonstrating the Kremlin's unity and influence in the international arena. Therefore, we should closely monitor further official statements and not take everything literally. U.S. President Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin may meet next week, probably on Monday, August 11th. Fox News reports this with reference to two sources familiar with the negotiations. The meeting is allegedly scheduled for next Monday, and Rome is being considered as one of the possible venues. If the meeting takes place later this week, Rome is still a potential location. Other countries in Europe and beyond are also being considered. Russian state media report that Rome cannot be the venue for a meeting between Trump and Putin.